Hi, my name is Shashi and today I am going to be demonstrating how Trici helps developers to recover faster from interruptions. In this demonstration, I will start building a simple game, simulate an interruption, and then use Trici to recover faster. So let's jump right into it. The game I'll be building is really simple. You have 7 seconds to answer a simple mental math question involving 3 numbers chosen randomly between 0 and 25. To win, you have to answer 10 consecutive questions correctly, and if you don't answer a question correctly or if you run out of time, the count sets back to 0. So the premise is really very simple, and we'll be building this for the web today. I already have a boilerplate ready with an element to display the question and to handle the answer. That boilerplate code is over here, and you can see that the question element is bound to the output of the function generate question. So the next thing that we have to do is actually generate this question. So let's start with that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up Trici and start a focus session. So now the focus session has started and my activity is being recorded. I will create a to-do that I'll work on now, and that is generate question string. And the benefit of starting a focus session, apart from the recording, is that distracting sites are blocked. You can set which sites you want to block in the settings. But anyway, let's get back to it. So we have to generate a question string. So first we have to do is generate numbers between 0 and 25 randomly. That's the first thing that we will do. So that's what we are going to do right now. So first we will do is we will specify a range lower limit of 0 and a range upper limit of 25. Now I will just look at the documentation of math.random, and over here I can see that I have a function which I can use to get integers between two given values. So I'll just use that, and we have to generate 3 numbers. So basically in our question there are 2 mathematical operations. So our number of operations is equal to 2, and then now I am going to use that in my for loop to generate numbers. So I'll use my function and pass the limits within which I want the numbers, and now I should save these generated numbers. So I'll just create initialize an empty numbers array, and then so our numbers are generated, and to check that we are doing the right thing, I'll just assign question string equal to numbers.toString, right? And now if I go to my so I can see that the numbers are generated. Great. So this is sort of a logical point in our code, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to check this in. This is just a demo. This is for the demo. We have a very short this thing, so I'm checking this in. Generating numbers randomly between a given range, right? Something like that. I've committed. Okay. So now what we have to do is we have to add the mathematical operations. So for that we have an array, so we'll just take the array and then we'll iterate over the numbers array, and we will just assign to the question string. So first I should actually just set this to blank, and so one by one the string will be value, and then there has to be an operand, either plus or minus. So, and that should be chosen randomly. So what I will do is I will create an array called operators. And then I will create a function get random, which takes an array and returns a random element from the array, and then I'll use that over here and use the operators array. So now we can get a random operator, right? And yeah, this I should remove this. So now I see that I'm getting a extra plus sign, so that also we can do away with. Great. So now what I have to do is I have to bind the answer to, okay, I'm getting a phone call, so I'm going to stop my focus session. Hello. Hi. No, I have not bought any bitcoins. It's gone down. It's gone up. I don't know. I'm not interested. Listen, I'm busy right now. I'll call you back. Bitcoins. What will we do with bitcoins? The world is after bitcoins. Okay, so before I start, let me just check if I have any moves to play. So now, because the focus session is stopped, I can go and indulge myself in a little game of chess, or in 2 games of chess. Okay. Okay. Right. So what were we doing? Okay. I just noticed that, you know, you have 0, 1, 2. Let me just refresh this. So I have 0, 1, 2 coming always, but that was not the case in our focus session. If I quickly review, okay, so I was getting randomly generated numbers. So then obviously I did something after that which caused the issue. Okay, so probably index and value are interchanged, right? So 0, 1, 2 seems like an index. So that is probably, that is where I made the mistake. So let me just change that. So this is value and this is index. Okay. And right, so that was the mistake. So not only did I recover my train of thought, I was able to see, looking back, where I had made the mistake. So for example, another view of Trici is when you look at the focus session details, you get a detailed timeline of your focus session. So I started a focus session and I initially, this task was selected, demo video, but then I added a to-do and I started working on it, which was generate question string. And then I added a note called generate numbers between 0 and 25 randomly. Now if I click on this, it goes to that point of the video. So for example, I know that till when I check this in, you can see this is a git commit. So when I checked in this particular commit, till this point I was logically right in whatever I had done. So it was only after this point that the issue arose. So instead of watching the whole initial beginning, I can just click on this and jump to that point and then watch the session from there. Right? So right now I can see that, okay, index value I used, and then that sort of prompts me that maybe I made a mistake. Right? So this is how Trici, this is a very short and small example of how Trici can be used to recover from interruptions, to look back and even discover bugs. There are many use cases. So if you are somebody who gets interrupted, etc., do subscribe to Trici on Product Hunt, and thank you so much for your time.